Hey everybody, James Brierton back with you live on the Carolina Weather Group and the Carolina Weather Net because we got about 2 seconds out of our last stream and we have a new tornado warning that has now been issued for portions of Lincoln and Mecklenburg County in North Carolina, and I want to take you out there to show you what it is that we and the National Weather Service are keeping a very close eye on, as it has been, again, nearly only a few minutes since the last warning has gone off. So we are watching right on here, radar indicated rotation. This is coming out right here near High Shoals between Lincolnton and Lincoln County and High Shoals in Gaston County. This is a tornado warning that now is in effect for the next 32 minutes or so. The National Weather Service in Greenville-Spartanburg has issued a tornado warning for eastern Lincoln County, south central Iredell County, northwestern Mecklenburg County, and north central Gaston County until 1 a.m. The National Weather Service is tracking a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 6 miles southeast of Lincolnton or near Iron Station, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. This storm will be in Iron Station around 12:30, Lake Norman and Westport around 12:40, and Cornelius and Davidson around 12:50. So right now we are watching that, like I said, is right on in here. This is the area of rotation that they are, the reason they have gone and issued this warning. And so if you know anybody that lives inside of this red polygon, go ahead and give them a call, because there's a pretty good chance that they might be asleep right now. And we're going to switch this into a dual panel mode. And on the left side, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to...
Tornado warning for...
You guys probably don't need the bot talking over me at the same time. That sounds a little overwhelming. The bot will be back with you during the overnight hours on the Carolina Weather Net. On the left-hand side, you have rain. On the right-hand side, you have winds. And so both those things together can help us determine where this possible tornado is. And what the National Weather Service is looking at here is the little protrusion of a circulation that kind of has been something they've been watching an eye on. It looks better than some of the previous storms, especially when they look at it here on the terminal Doppler radar. And so they're also watching, I should mention, the same area that we were kind of keeping an eye on too, is this little special weather statement down here. No warnings on this right now. I will come back to it if it certainly becomes imperative that we come back to it. But right now we only have one tornado warning to tell you about, and that's the one that's on your screen right now for this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado coming out of Gaston County and Lincoln counties into portions of northern Mecklenburg and Iredell County. Essentially, this is going to be the Lake Norman region. And so we'll go ahead and put on the screen right now, tornado warning, and this is for Gaston, Lincoln, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties in North Carolina. And this goes until 1 o'clock. And so the National Weather Service has gone ahead and issued this. So where do you go? If you happen to live in any of these areas right now, we want you to get to the lowest level, most interior room of a sturdy building. And so you want to put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. As we put this back into motion, we can see kind of right on here at the moment that the tornado warning was issued, right towards High Shoals. You can see right on the right side of your screen where the reds and the greens come together. That's that area of rotation. And then we can kind of see it bowing a little bit here on the left side, and that's showing the rain as well too. And then kind of just watch as that advances on forward. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe something touched down right on in here between North Carolina Route 27 and US 321. We got a pretty good flash of green and red really close together there. And then that is now continuing off to the north and to the east. There are other parts of this line that could also have quick little brief spin-ups occurring with them, but nothing that has jumped out to us just yet that would be necessary in order to get a tornado warning with it. I know so many of you are watching me, have been hanging out here for quite a little while. And let me know if you guys have any trouble hearing me. I've been getting sporadic reports of people having a hard time hearing me. Everything looks okay on my side, but certainly let me know if there are any issues. I think it might be a left channel versus a right channel type of thing. So we'll see if that makes any difference here. If I put both microphones on and we get dual channel kind of going on. So hopefully you guys don't have any sort of audio issues with that. So, okay, so Christian is watching in Birkdale and Huntersville. This tornado is on the north side of Charlotte. It does not include Charlotte itself, but it does kind of include kind of the northern fringes of Huntersville. So if I zoom on in, we can see here that the tornado warning polygon is just to the south of North Carolina State Route 73. And so Birkdale's right in here, isn't it, guys? Do I have my bearings right here at 12:30 at night? We definitely know that everyone in Mooresville, Davidson, Cornelius, and some of these portions of northern Mecklenburg County need to be in their safe space. So again, North Carolina State Route 73 is Sam Fur Road, and so that is exactly where Birkdale is. Birkdale Village is right on in there. If my mouse cursor coming through for you guys is also a thing I want to check. So let me make sure that I do have show mouse cursor turned on, because that would be imperative to me doing some of the circling. But yeah, Birkdale Village, Christian, is right on in here. So what you want to do is you want to get to the most interior room, the lowest level possible for you. I know that might be a little tricky if you're in apartments. If you have a friend downstairs, great. You've got some time right now to get down there if you're in the I-77 corridor. If not, if you're in an apartment building, you just want to get the most interior room. That might be a bathroom, bathtub, closet, something along those lines. I'm also troubleshooting. I've got a couple people telling me they can't hear me, and I certainly want to make sure that there isn't a problem going on here. But we're watching this area of circulation as it kind of comes into Lowesville that is. And okay, so there we go. Carolina Weather Net, guys, you should have me now. Sorry about that. Thank you for those chat messages letting me know that you were having a hard time hearing me there. You should be able to hear me now in the Carolina Weather Net. So we are watching this tornado warning. This is for portions of Gaston and Lincoln. The possible tornado is right on in here. We had a pretty good area of circulation on radar as it came through High Shoals right there on the boundary between North Carolina and, between Gaston and Lincoln counties. And now we're watching that area of circulation just north of the Gaston County line coming towards Lowesville. It's going to be over Mountain Island and Lake Norman here in the next few minutes. So if you're in Huntersville, if you're in Cornelius and Davidson, you're going to want to get to your safe place. You know, the warning does go all the way up towards Mooresville. It wouldn't be a bad idea to at least be ready. Hey, if you got an opportunity as you're waking the kids and the family up from bed, grab those pillows and take them with you as you head down to wherever your safe place is. Give you an extra layer of protection. If you've got an interior room, lowest level of your home, away from windows and doors, and you can take something like shoes or helmets or even that pillow, I mean, every layer counts here. We don't have any confirmation that a tornado is on the ground right now, but we can certainly see on the right-hand side of your screen where some of that circulation was definitely evident on terminal Doppler radar right there at the airport as it kind of came out of High Shoals right on in here at about 12:23. It's now 12:36. This warning does go all the way until 1 o'clock. And this radar is real close. We're using the radar right up in here over by North Lake Mall. And so it does help us get really close to a low view of what's happening on the ground. Anytime you can get that radar real close. Zooming back on out just to kind of show you what else is going on so you guys don't feel like I'm ignoring anybody else right now. We only have a couple special weather statements at play. We do have one for Lancaster. We have one for a couple counties over here. Looks like Chesterfield and Kershaw. We have a huge one that National Weather Service in Raleigh just went and issued it for a bunch of counties. Those special weather statements are for sub-severe storms. They're strong. They might be waking you up out of bed, but we only have one warning right now to tell you about, and that is this tornado warning. And so that is going to get the bulk of our attention because that is the one where immediate action is necessary. We do have some cameras on Lake Norman from our friends at Resort Cams. We'll go ahead and we'll get some of those ready here for you so that we can maybe extrapolate anything that we might be seeing possible with this storm. Most of those cameras, I think, are a little bit further north than I would like them to be. But we don't have anything confirmed right now on the ground. I couldn't even begin to tell you what EF it is. That is something that would get determined at a later point. But they do see possible rotation on radar, and that is what has prompted them to go and issue this tornado warning. We're talking about Westport at 12:39, Smithfield at 12:46, Cornelius at 12:47, Davidson by 12:48, Mount Morn at 12:51, and proper downtown Mooresville at 12:56. We've got big wind being reported right now in Iron Station. Samford Road right now, if you live along Samford Road, you should be in your safe place. We're watching right now. The possible rotation is now coming into the Lowesville area along North Carolina State Route 16. It still has to cross the lake, but we kind of expect it to kind of come across the lake and just kind of be along that North Carolina 73 or Samford Road area. I think we're kind of hugging the bottom side of this polygon right now. That's kind of where the best area of rotation continues to be as we continue to monitor this. You will notice that there's a gap in the radar. That is just a beam block from the terminal Doppler radar. So when the rotation gets close enough, I will have to switch back on over to use our full-powered Greenville-Spartanburg radar, which, you know, is not bad, but right now the terminal Doppler radar is closer because we're kind of at the extreme reaches, especially from a velocity level for that GSP radar. So right now we'll continue to watch here on the terminal side of things, especially those winds on the right-hand side just above my head. That is we're going to watch for the possible rotation. We're in touch right now with the National Weather Service and broadcast meteorologists to see exactly what may or may not be going on with these particular storms. Trying to keep an eye on your chat messages as best as I can too. I know a lot of you guys are watching from this area, and so appreciate you being with me here as we continue through. We do have a tornado warning again. This is for the storm that is on your screen. It's 10 miles northwest of Huntersville near Westport, moving east at 35 miles an hour. So it's going to be in Lake Norman, Westport, Cornelius around 1240, Davidson around 1250. We're watching for the possibility of flying debris. Mobile homes could be damaged or destroyed if we were to get a tornado on the ground with this one. So again, a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located 10 miles northwest of Huntersville. 10 miles northwest of Huntersville. So here's Huntersville. We go 10 miles north and west. We're watching right kind of on in here. And that would again put it just probably north of Lowesville right now if anything were to be on the ground. The good news is we have been able to drop some areas from this tornado warning polygon. I think we're going to go ahead and be able to take Gaston County out of it because this is now north of the county line, and we're also going to be able to drop High Shoals and Lincolnton out of this polygon, which will be updating on your screen momentarily. So that will be some good news. We have some areas, some folks that were able to say you're in the all clear. Gaston County is in the clear. Some portions of Lincoln County will be dropped from this polygon here in just a moment or two. And we're going to continue to tell people who are in eastern Lincoln County, kind of right along the Lake Norman side of things, North Mecklenburg County, essentially from Huntersville up north, and South Iredell County, especially in that Mooresville area, to continue to be in your safe place. We know the NOAA weather radios went off across all of those counties. Iredell and Mecklenburg are very tall counties, and so right now the only tornado warning, the only threat are the areas that you see on your screen right now. So, you know, my apologies to somebody who might be in Love Valley or Harmony or down towards Matthews or Pineville. This warning is not for you. This warning is square over Lake Norman right now. It's coming out of Lowesville and is going to be coming kind of right along Sam Fur Road. Birkdale Village would be downstream of this. If it were to hold together. Again, we don't have any confirmation that anything is on the ground right now, but that area of rotation is going to be coming over the lake in the next few minutes, coming out of Lowesville, over Cowan's Ford is next, along with Hicks Crossroads. Is where we are continuing to watch this thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. As you saw, the National Weather Service updated the tornado warning to remove Gaston County. There is another little area of circulation near Denver, North Carolina. Yes, that is a town here in North Carolina. It's developed and moved into the polygon. So the storm marker is actually for 2 different areas of circulation right now. That Denver one, I think, is going to be... I think that's going to be this guy, if I'm not mistaken, right? Because Denver should be kind of right on in there for you guys. And so Denver, which is a town here in North Carolina, if I've got my bearings right, is actually north of Westport. What are they talking about? Let's put this into motion. Oh, okay. So they were talking about something that's almost really not even there anymore. It was right on in here. When I put it back in time, we can kind of see it. So we had this one area of rotation, and then we had this area of rotation, still kind of due. So we kind of have one tornado warning right now for a couple areas along this thunderstorm line that is possibly rotating here and there. And that's what the National Weather Service is warning about right now. Thanks to Chris for the $1.99 super chat. I think I clicked on it. Sure did. Thanks for your coverage tonight. I was in Cornelius. You're very welcome. Don't go far, Chris, because we are still watching this tornado warning for you there in Cornelius. I see your latest comment, Chris. I will take a look at that off screen here and see if I can verify anything you might be seeing. But I'm going to have to switch over to Greenville Spartanburg for that particular product. I would be really surprised if we had a CC drop. It just doesn't feel strong enough. So I don't think so. I don't think so at this time, but we will continue to watch that certainly. Gerald writes, don't evacuate. Yeah, no, there's no evacuation. For tornado warning, you don't want to flee. You want to hunker down. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside world as possible. There's no outrunning anything like this. You hide from wind, and you run from water. So this is not a flooding threat, this is a wind threat, so we want you just to hunker down. If you're inside this tornado warning polygon, get away from windows and doors. If you've got a lower level you can go down to that. If you can get under the stairs, in a central bathroom, anything like that, that would be fabulous. Thanks to Andrew for the $5 super chat. I'm the only live channel right now. I'm almost sorry to hear that, but I'm glad you're here with us, Andrew. Johnny's in Westport. Am I cooked? I don't know that you're cooked, but do definitely keep in your safe place. Hey, I'm glad I could help Chris, making you feel any more comfortable. That is definitely what I want to do. What to bring to your safe place. You want to, if you can, grab a helmet, shoes, maybe a pillow. I mean, you're coming from bed, right? So any extra layer you can bring with you would be great. I don't have a basement where I am, and so my safe place is a little like Harry Potter styled cupboard under the stairs. And so when I go there, I typically will bring the bike helmet if I've already brought them in. I mean, I don't want you running around the house trying to collect stuff if you're inside a tornado warning. That time would be ahead of the storm. But if you can grab things along the way, slip on your shoes, slip on slippers, anything like that, that'll certainly help. Let me switch back over to terminal, and we're kind of now in this gap where we're losing it a little bit. There's just this gap that is caused by interference with the terminal Doppler radar. But I mean, like this right on in here, right at 73. Oh, come on, Telestrator. Right on in here on the right side of your screen, right where that red and that green come together, like that's what's prompting this tornado warning. And that is what's moving off to the east here. And I'm not even sure that that's the original circulation or not. It's almost hard to say because it's kind of like two areas of circulation met back up. But we might have a tornado being indicated here near 73. This is going to be right at the base of the lake. So this is going to be right near the dam. You know, areas of interest, of course, include Cowan's Ford. The McGuire Nuclear Power Plant is right here. And so we're watching right now as this area of circulation, it's probably Killens Farm Road, coming past the Extra Space Storage Club Road, Cowan's Ford Country Club. That's kind of the area we're in here. And unfortunately, we're going to lose it for a minute as it disappears into this little radar gap we've got. The terminal Doppler radar is right on in here. It's actually visible from Interstate 485, and there's like a water tower or something that just gets in the way. But again, we've gotten a couple frames now where I feel like right on in here, just on the east side of Lowesville, we've got red and green kind of circulating right on in there. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some storm damage that might occur in there. I'm going to switch radars so we can get through this gap together. And you'll notice when I switch radars, I kind of lose definition. Kind of almost working with like standard def now instead of high def, but at least I have some sort of visibility into this guy. No new updates just yet from the Weather Service. I'll pop back over and take a look at some chat here for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and move me to the top center because I feel like I'm constantly interfering with that bottom corner. We are continuing to watch for this line of storms that is extending now near Huntersville. I think we're going to get a very large, we're about to get a very large special weather statement, essentially from Huntersville all the way to the state line is what they have just typed up over at the National Weather Service office. So that's kind of interesting to me. And I will have that for you here on the screen. Yeah, there it is. Look at the size. Let's just go single panel for a moment. I mean, we essentially have a special weather statement from Iredell County, into Lancaster County. That's about 100 miles north and south of a sub-severe thunderstorm warning. Sub-severe storm. And so they've issued a special weather statement because most of us right now are in the risk of getting about 40 mile per hour wind. But this also then extends east to west, if you put these all together, almost like another 100 miles. So those are the special weather statements. I'm going to go ahead, for the time being, turn off the special weather statements because I want to keep focus on the tornado warning that we have on the board. Those special weather statements are just kind of a way to stay a step ahead. And right now, I want to continue the focus on where we have the tornado warning. If we get more warnings, we'll start bouncing between them. I will tell you where I am in South Charlotte. The winds have just picked up again. The rain has just picked up again. Hopefully the power stays on. This is now the third or fourth severe thunderstorm or strong thunderstorm that has come on through. I should probably preface that when we say severe, that's 60-mile-per-hour winds, 1-inch size hail, or tornado. Those are the three things that will get you either a severe thunderstorm warning or a tornado warning. We are still anxiously awaiting for the rotation to come back out on the other side of this radar gap that we have. We talk a lot of times about the radar gap that we have in the Carolinas where the radar coverage is poor. I mean, this is just literally like there's a slice of land right in here that is maybe 1.25 miles wide at this point where I've got no data. And it's not just me. It's everyone who's going to be using that terminal radar. We can look at GSP's radar. It's further away, GSP's radar. It's higher up. But we do kind of still have a broad area of circulation that is just north of Sam Fur Road coming into Mecklenburg County. I know at one point the National Weather Service was warning of a second area rotation. It might be that coming into Mooresville in the I-77 corridor. But we will know best by using that terminal Doppler radar, even with the hole there. Yeah, I actually would agree that we might have a second area of circulation just near the line from Mecklenburg and Iredell counties. This is going to be here just to the north and west of Davidson and Cornelius. That is going to be right up here on the lake. So we are coming into Langtree Road, I think is going to be this one. So I think this possible second circulation is right along Langtree Road. Going to be coming towards Mount Morn. Going to be coming towards Mooresville. Taking a swig of water here. And then our first area of circulation, I think, is beginning to reemerge down here near Sanford Road. Something just made a popping or banging sound near me. I'm in South Charlotte. I am not near this warning, but that doesn't mean stuff's not blowing around out there. All right. I think in a moment we will get an update from the Weather Service. They should be able to drop Lincoln County out of this because this is now going to be squarely in North Charlotte and squarely in Southern Iredell. I know somebody in Mount Morn. I'm going to practice everything that I preach, and I'm going to start by at least texting him and saying, "Are you up?" And then if not, calling him and say, "Get up." Because we hear this all the time, that word of mouth is sometimes the best way to reach people. All right, so yeah, I think we're watching two possible little areas of circulation here and here. So again, zooming in down here, this is now just south of Sam Fur Road in Huntersville. Let me go single panel because the dual panel gets a little confusing when I'm trying to do roads. But this is Sam Fur Road. This is I-77. I think there's a little something right here. And it is almost going to exceed the south side of the polygon. And then I think we've also got an area of rotation right here at the inlet that is right there on the county line between Mecklenburg and Iredell. I think I've sometimes even heard it referred to as like Lake Cornelius. And that's going to come into Mount Morn here in the next minute or two. So again, you want to be in your safe place, lowest level of your home, away from windows and doors. I did not get a response from my friend, and I think I'm going to do exactly what we always say you should do, and I'm going to call him and just make sure that he's awake. I will mute this for privacy reasons. Back with you in a second. He didn't answer. Should I call him a second time and see if I get through a do not disturb mode or something? But yeah, you guys are right. There's like probably one or two different areas. Pineville, you're okay right now. You're okay. This is purely right up here by the lake. All right. There's a couple different little areas of rotation on this particular section of the line. Heavy rain right now. You guys want me to call again? Okay, I'll call again. I'll call again. You know, there's other areas of the line too that have little squiggly lines, but this area inside the warning is really what's got me. Still just ringing. Okay, he did not answer. I've now got 2 texts to him and 2 phone calls. Maybe he's just, I don't know. I'm gonna wish good thoughts. We don't have anything confirmed on the ground, otherwise I'd really be freaking out. But you know, we practice what we preach, right? Multiple ways to get weather warnings. While I hope he has a NOAA weather radio, and while I hope he has an app, he's also got a James that's apparently going to call and try to wake him up in the middle of the night too. All right, so he does not. No, he doesn't live alone. So I'm hoping there's. I'm gonna keep reading weather stuff for you guys, and I will. I'm hoping that I'm an optimistic guy. I assume everything's fine. We don't have anything confirmed on the ground for you still at this time, but we're watching a couple different areas. I'm going to zoom out for just a moment. I want to make sure we don't get blindsided by anything. We still only have this one warning. We do have other special weather statements that are out there, but those special weather statements are just what that says. They're special little storms that are strong but not severe. Well, this is the only storm right now that has polygons on it. And, you know, it does have probably a couple different areas of possible rotation. It is 1 o'clock right now. This tornado warning has been allowed to expire. The National Weather Service is telling us they just don't have enough justification right now to continue the tornado warning. They are typing up a severe thunderstorm warning. You know, it's kind of tricky because we are seeing just as much circulation on that portion of the line as maybe we're seeing in other portions of the line. We were definitely kind of zeroing in on things more so than we may have otherwise because of that tornado warning was there. So like every little thing was definitely, as we were trying to play detective, we still are seeing some broad levels of circulation, but not enough right now for the National Weather Service to feel like they need to continue that tornado warning. But you guys saw how quickly that came up. If you were with me on my 10 p.m. stream to a little after 12, I mean, we literally powered down, walked away, and came back. We do now have that severe thunderstorm warning that has been posted. We will have it on our map here in just a moment for you. I'm going to suspect that it has the tornado possible tag in it, where tornado could develop, could be possible as we continue to monitor these storms. But I mean, like, that tornado warning came up so quickly. So this now severe thunderstorm warning is going to be in effect for Cabarrus, Mecklenburg, Rowan, and Union. That's a whole different warning. Cabarrus, southeastern Mech, southeastern Rowan, northern Union. Is going to be, that's going to be in here, isn't it? Be very curious to see what this polygon looks like. Like, is this a like a broader continuation of our tornado warning, but like more for the winds? Because I mean, the threat with this is going to be winds, I would think. Interesting. We'll find out. We're going to have it here in a second. But again, the tornado warning has been allowed to expire, and they are replacing it with a severe thunderstorm warning, with a hazard being 60-mile-per-hour winds. And it does have the tornado possible tag on it. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that. Brian, appreciate you subscribing to us here tonight on the Carolina Weather Group. And there is our new polygon. Yeah, okay, so that polygon is as big as the description made it sound. So that warning extends from Union County in North Carolina. That is going to be eastern Mecklenburg, a large portion of Cabarrus, and a little bit of Rowan. And the threat for that is going to be 60-mile-per-hour winds. So let's switch back over to our terminal Doppler radar. I would also say, if you happen to be watching from Stanley County, Albemarle, New London, Locust, Oakboro, the reason you're kind of carved out is because you're under a different National Weather Service office, and they haven't filled it in yet for some reason. But that little notch there is not weather-based, it's like political boundary-based. So 60-mile-per-hour winds on this severe thunderstorm warning coming out of Uptown. You know, we can definitely see some of that on terminal Doppler radar. Now, this guy right here, is this not the same circulation that we've been watching since it was like way, no, actually it would be way, is this the remnants of the circulation that had prompted the warning that would have went like that? I think it probably is. I think it probably is. Okay, so now that is technically the only warning we have right now. I mean, it's a funny multi-county large warning. Let me check in with chat. Is there weather happening in the blanket area, just haven't been recorded yet? Are you talking about the blank area? So the blank area, if you're looking at the radar, might just be gaps or places where nothing's really registering. If you're talking about the polygon not being filled in, that's just silly nonsense. But we are looking at velocity, so we're looking at winds. This is the rain. This is what you guys are probably looking at when you look at your radar on your phone, what you're used to seeing. Did we just get yet another severe thunderstorm warning? How many severe thunderstorm warnings am I going to be in simultaneously, phone? Yeah, it would seem like we have another severe thunderstorm warning coming for Cabarrus, Davie, Iredale, Mecklenburg, and Rowan. Okay? Paint a picture for me. Now, mind you, it's 1 o'clock in the morning now. And so we don't have much left in terms of like daytime heat, but there's still enough instability out there in the atmosphere that the Weather Service is warning for hail of 0.75 of an inch. That's not how you would say that. 7/10 of an inch, 8/10 of an inch, 3/4 inch hail, and 60-mile-per-hour winds, and a possible possible tornado. Again, we don't have a tornado warning, but we do have this severe thunderstorm warning with tornado possible. Okay, so there's the other severe thunderstorm warning. So they've essentially issued a severe thunderstorm warning for the line of storms just to the east of 77 from Statesville and Iredell County through Charlotte. And this then includes like essentially a whole county off to the east. Why they drew it as 2, I don't know, but they did. That's what they did. I assume these both have the tornado possible tag. They do both have the tornado possible tag. We are in kind of a bad radar spot. And it's only going to get worse as we get into the gap between Charlotte and Raleigh. So you'll start to see me toggling between Raleigh, Roanoke, the terminal Doppler, but I'm going to go quad for a second, and I want to, we have no tornado warnings right now. I know our video is called Tornado Warnings. We came on for a tornado warning. We have severe thunderstorm warnings out there with the tornado possible tag, which means something could pop back up. Chris says they're goofy looking polygons. I agree, they're goofy looking polygons. How is the weather in the upstate South Carolina? You're mostly clear. This is the line. There's really not much left behind this line. To answer a couple of chat questions here. So, if you were in the tornado warning has been allowed to expire. You are safe to come out from your tornado safe place. I think everyone who's in the severe thunderstorm warning, including myself, should be ready to move to the safe place if and when that is necessary. Again, they will issue a tornado warning if they deem it to be necessary. But you know, even a severe thunderstorm warning can still produce damage. Wind is wind, and so yellow polygon versus red polygon, it's just really a difference of whether or not the wind is rotating in a funnel or coming at you in a straight line. And in this case, it's kind of coming at you in a straight line. We're watching right now for these severe thunderstorm warnings. They're warning of 60-mile-per-hour winds. We're using the terminal Doppler radar out of Charlotte. It's the lowest level. It's pretty good at winds, especially this far out. Still only kind of seeing like 40-mile-per-hour. Watching for possible little spin-ups along the line. So right in here, the boundary between the greens and the reds, you know, if it starts doing a little dance, that's where we got to watch for possible tornadic spin-ups. We're getting quite a lot of hail right in here. This is going to be kind of over by Charlotte Motor Speedway. I think we do have a camera there from our friends at WeatherStem. So WeatherStem, Charlotte Motor Speedway, he types in. We can show you some of that lightning right now. If this camera is operating, we will find out in just a second together, because I would love to take you out to it if it is. I'm not sure it is. I'm not sure it is, because the latest preview image it's giving me is daytime. Sure. Whether that is a power outage problem or what, I don't know. But we are still getting quite a few lightning strikes in the Charlotte area. 48 bolts in the last 30 minutes. So quite a lot of lightning. We don't have that Charlotte Motor Speedway camera right now. Be kind, back with us. I'm a mile from the Speedway. No hail. That's good. Ross, you're very welcome. Thanks. Appreciate you guys being with us here. especially as we drag on into the late night hours. I'm looking over for a soda or something, I think, at this point. Since we're dragging on here a bit, I'll check back in with the National Weather Service chat. No new information from them. We came on initially tonight at about 10 o'clock for a tornado warning in upstate South Carolina. That is now long gone. And then we came back up with you at about 12:30 for a tornado warning that was in the Charlotte area. That tornado warning is now gone. It's been converted over to these relatively large severe thunderstorm warnings that are on the screen right now. They essentially stretch "68 miles from just outside the Triad." What counties are in this? Should we play that game? Should we try to count up exactly what counties are under this? I mean, I guess I could just read them off too, but I was kind of hoping for one coherent list. We have right now under severe thunderstorm warning, so that is the chance of seeing 60-mile-per-hour damaging wind: Cabarrus, Davie, Iredale, Mecklenburg, Rowan. That's the top one. Now here's the bottom warning. It's going to be some duplicates: Cabarrus, Mecklenburg, Rowan, and Union, North Carolina. I am looking at an area of circulation right kind of in here, near the town of Cleveland. The town of Cleveland. That's Davie, isn't it? Pretty sure that's Davie County. We don't have any warnings on it right now. Watching that. Lots of lightning still near Charlotte Motor Speedway, near Harrisburg. I can't think of the current bank or whatever it is that sponsors the outside concert venue there, but the amphitheater. We can kind of see that. Probably a couple lightning strikes over towards University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Not a ton of lightning back here on the south side. I'm watching to see. I put it into motion because I was kind of curious to see if that was like a little inflow notch near Fairview. I don't think so. But like, just look at these winds here for a second, coming straight out of Harrisburg, coming out of Concord, right in here and pushing off to the east. Let's quarry some of these winds, because I think this alone is validating the need for a severe thunderstorm warning. Because 45, 47 miles an hour, we're getting some strong, I mean, the threshold is 60, but there might be some lower values down at the ground, certainly. Map? There we go. You know, there are still little suspicious areas that I feel are trying to spin up. Okay, yes, I said Davie, the town of Cleveland is in Rowan. You are absolutely correct, Raging Country, so thank you. Wind's still pretty bad in Harrisburg and Concord. Says be kind, no joke, get to your safe place. There's nothing wrong with going to your safe place for a severe thunderstorm warning. Nothing wrong with that. They are warning for it for a reason. And so, catching up on chat with you guys. Had a question. Please check the trajectory. Is Greensboro safe from the tornado watches? There are no tornado watches right now. We don't have any watches out, which could be a conversation in and of itself. Greensboro will get the line of storms in the next 2 hours. Whether or not they will still be severe, I don't think any of us could tell you for sure. There's still a chance of it. Just like we've seen with this line as it came into Charlotte, it kind of popped back up. The National Weather Service warned for it, so definitely have, again, multiple ways to receive warnings as we go on through. Let's talk about the South Carolina portion of our viewing area. We'll come back to these warnings here in a minute, just because it's been a minute since we kind of came south. And I will just, for simplicity right now, switch this back over to reflectivity, because we know that we still have this line of storms now pushing south of I-20 from Augusta, Aiken, Columbia. I know some of you were watching from Camden and Kershaw. So we have broad outflow moving across the Midlands right now. Gusts are generally about 40 miles or less, so there's no warnings on those. Some more concerning cells near the Lancaster area with a better tornado threat up in that area. That's according to the National Weather Service, who's up with us 24 hours a day. But again, those are very low level and not really conducive right now to tornadoes. But they were watching and are watching for the possibility that maybe something on the South Carolina side tries to spin up with this section here. But again, nothing's being warned for that right now. We do have these severe thunderstorm warnings that go for 27 more minutes with tornado possible tags on them. These are in the Charlotte area. Those are the only warnings we have right now to tell you about. And you know, we kind of do look for little things like that. They kind of bend a little bit. Nothing is screaming to me right now. The Raleigh radar really doesn't reach all that great. You can start to see we get this purple interference layer. So that really doesn't help us. This is right here, right now. This is the Carolina radar gap. Historically, tornadoes have been missed in Harrisburg because they just didn't show up on radar. Since then, the terminal Doppler radar has been installed. It does help. It does help. Is it perfect? No, because you can see that we kind of got purple fringe for all of this area here. And that means we're starting to get interference. And so it kind of really butts up with the interference from the Raleigh one, and we end up with this kind of gap thing. It's not great. What am I talking about? If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of like bars on your cell phone. You know, you have 0 bars, you have no service. It's not that. It's probably like the equivalent of saying we have 1 bar. We have spotty service. And so the terminal Doppler radar is really the only game in town right now to keep a really close eye on that. How is Salisbury or China Grove? You are in these warnings right now, I think. Yeah, Salisbury and China Grove are in these severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So, you know, I know some of you in chat have said you've gone to your safe place and you're treating them like a tornado warning. I mean, that's fine. I have no problem with that. I'm in the warning right now in Matthews, and I didn't move. But I could also kind of see there was nothing imminently threatening my location. We're going to get these redrawn here in a second, and these warnings will trim up. So I think like Matthews, for instance, will fall out of it. Charlotte will fall out of it. Huntersville, Cornelius, Mooresville, you're probably going to fall out of it because the main line of storms right now is over Landis, Kannapolis, and Concord. And so that means a lot of you who probably woke up for that tornado warning that was issued about an hour ago at the time for Gaston, Lincoln, Mecklenburg, and Rowan, that has been allowed to expire. And so right now we are just left with these severe thunderstorm warnings, but these severe thunderstorm warnings are the type that the Weather Service has a tag or kind of like a hashtag on it that says tornadoes are possible with them. And so that's why we're keeping a very close eye on these 2 particular neighboring polygons right now because of that potential that they could try to spin up. The greatest area of concern right now with these storms over Concord is, again, maybe some low-level shear. We could see a little rotation, something in this Concord area. So we can see the bottom polygon has been trimmed, dropped even Harrisburg out of it. The whole 485 corridors out of it. And we're now just waiting for that top one. I think will get trimmed probably next, and that will drop the I-77 corridor. Troutman, Mooresville, Cornelius, and Huntersville will drop out of that. But let's see. Yeah, they're trimming that right now. They being the National Weather Service. We're just going to really watch and right on in here. I mean, that's kind of like, these are the cells that have warnings on them. And so they're kind of getting my first priority. You know, when it comes to some of these other storms, some of them have almost the same level of possible high atmosphere, low powered circulation with them, but they don't have polygons on them. The National Weather Service isn't worried about them. So, I mean, I think the bulk of my energy is still up where those polygons are. I mean, I'm grateful again right now for the terminal. But we've been able to drop Mech and Iredale out from those storms, and that's helpful. That's definitely helpful. So everyone who essentially woke up because of the tornado warning, you can go back to bed. That area is now in the clear. Let's check in with chat. What are you guys talking about? Oh, you guys are very welcome. Oh, glad you're joining us as a subscriber, Tyler. Rich, you're welcome. Buffy, hello to you. What about the Columbia area? So, Jeremy, the Columbia area right now does have a thunderstorm. 100% does have a thunderstorm. It's just not warned. It doesn't have the criteria needed to be warned. Doesn't mean you're not going to hear some loud thunder. Doesn't mean you're not going to hear some rain. But, you know, a warning is 60-mile-per-hour winds or 1-inch size hail. And the only area right now where the Weather Service feels meets that criteria is exiting Charlotte. We're kind of in the in-between Charlotte and Greensboro right now with those. I'm going to take 30 seconds to go get a sugary beverage. And I will be back with you in about 30 seconds. I'll leave the radar on the screen. I hope you guys don't go far. And I will be right back. I'm back. Carolina Weather Group mug. I don't think we have mugs in the merch store yet. Coming soon. I don't think we have mugs. We have t-shirts, hats. Yeah, I think mugs are coming soon. Comment, local news is on TV, just not on YouTube. I can definitely verify that WCNC Brad Panovich was wrong because I was watching them out of the corner of my eye for the tornado warning. So, Be Kind says I get to take 5 minutes. I said 30 seconds. It probably took me more like 60. I brought the granola bar back with me. Aw, thanks, Thin Crust. Pizza sucks. I'm glad people like you exist. Way more info than my weather app gives me. I mean, that's my favorite comment of the whole day. I just went on my soapbox the other day with somebody about weather apps. So, and by thin crust, do you mean New York style, or do you mean like I like New York style pizza, but like thin crust, like real thin crust? Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. That would be like pizza on a cracker. All right, so not a whole lot has changed. Still a couple areas where we get a little bend in the storm and the wind. Oh man, we're pretty soon going to lose these on the terminal, which makes me sad. But no other polygons right now. Just these two guys hanging out. And nothing new from the Weather Service. So we have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings on the board. They go for another 16 minutes for the threat of 60-mile-per-hour winds, tornado possible. I will say, as a fun fact, that the National Weather Service offices will be handing off these storms. We will go from the jurisdiction of Greenville-Spartanburg to the jurisdiction of Raleigh. Why is that significant? Theoretically, everyone plays by the same rules, but you know, we might see different applications of what some of these warnings look like. You guys are making me hungry with all this pizza talk. So I'm gonna eat this granola bar, and we're gonna sit and chat, and we're gonna at least write out these warnings for the next 16 minutes. That brings us to what, 1:45? Piece of cake. We do 1:45 at this point, right? I wonder where I could get a pizza at 1:30 in the morning. Can I go to sleep in Albemarle? Well, the storm has not cleared you yet. You can go to sleep. It would be best if you had some way to be woken up if you needed to be woken up. No weather radio, app on your phone. You probably don't want to leave me on. There's the possibility, it's small, but there's the possibility that we could see a warning yet to come in Albemarle. The storm has not yet cleared you. But the threat is small. And again, I myself included, at some point I'm going to bed. Just have a way to be woken up. Wawa. We do not have any Wawas here as far as I'm aware. When will Charlotte get an NWS? Never. Here's what I'll say. We had one until the late 80s. Then the Weather Service went through a consolidation phase. And Charlotte lost its office. And our office became Greenville-Spartanburg. Do I think Charlotte's going to get one back? I've not heard any talks of Charlotte getting one back. But if the Weather Service decided to do more consolidations, would they consolidate only into existing locations, or would they fold into a centralized location? I don't know. Yeah, okay, there we go. Charlotte used to have a WFO. It was removed in the 90s when the NWS was modernized. Yeah, I think it's the late 80s, only because I was thinking about the radar being installed But yeah, yeah. You guys are naming gas station pizzas. Yes, Uptown Charlotte is okay. Uptown Charlotte is clear. I don't know if I've ever eaten on stream before. I don't know how I feel about that. If you are just joining us, we have no tornado warnings right now. We have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings that are classified as tornado possible, which means they could get a tornado spin up, and we're watching this for the next 15 minutes or so. You asked for pizza. Yeah, I didn't. But I'm from New York. Getting pizza from a gas station is, I don't know. I'm not saying I've never done it. Dr. Christina, I have gotten pizza from QT. I have done it. I was expecting at least somebody to say like Domino's or Papa John's. That must be a late night thing, right? For anybody who's wondering, if there was something serious to talk about right now, I'd be talking about that instead of the pizza. In case anybody's trying to read the vibes. What I'm doing now is writing out the next 10 minutes to see what the Weather Service decides to do with these 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. But there's really nothing with them right now that requires any immediate action. Unless somebody wants to spin up a radar. Can we get a radar at Ashboro? Like, can we put it at the zoo? I'd be cool with that. Yeah. Pizza by the slice in Philly at 2 a.m. was heaven. Yeah, I agree. Did we ever get confirmation on that one guy saying there was rotation in Longtree? No, I don't think so. Where's Longtree? Best pizza place is in Easley, South Carolina. All right, let's go. Oh, Langtree. I am getting tired. Okay, no, we did not get any confirmation. I mean, you guys probably saw what I saw, which was that there was... That's right. I literally called out Langtree Road, didn't I? It's just pink lemonade. No, I mean, in terms of confirmation, the confirmation was kind of what we were seeing on radar, which was that there was a little something. I think that's what I was trying to call my friend. But in terms of like confirmation that anybody found anything on the ground, no one has reported anything back to the Weather Service. If there was something to report, I would anticipate that a fire department or a county sheriff's deputy or somebody would flag back to the Weather Service. No one's done that. So it's kind of one of those no news is good news type situations. A lot of the rotation we have seen has been like high up in the atmosphere, pretty weak, and so it's been really debatable on whether or not anything's reaching the ground. While we wait, I'll show you guys where the special weather statements are. Again, a special weather statement is just a storm that kind of is worthy of saying, yeah, that's a strong storm. We know it exists. We see it. It might have 30 or 40 miles, maybe even 50-mile-per-hour winds. We have one of those storms right now in Greensboro, High Point. Ashboro. I switched over to the Raleigh radar and populated radar into the center of the state because I've been glued on the terminal radar because that's where the 2 warning polygons are. So, a special weather statement is below severe threshold. Starting to get trees down calls in Mooresville, says Raging Country. Are you hearing that on a scanner or something? I just haven't seen that come back into the weather service chat. I guess I could check power outages. That would go back to that Langtree conversation we were having. Duke Energy outages. There's certainly... Okay, so... There's certainly more than one power company. But I often will go to Duke Energy because it's one of the biggest. If anybody is seeing another with a huge outage, let me know. Got 1,000 people down here in Lake Wylie in the Palisades. Okay. I should say 1,000 customers. I shouldn't say people. There might be multiple people inside those homes. We got a bunch down here in Van Wyck, Lancaster County, South Carolina. We got a cluster in southwestern Gastonia. Really don't have a lot of Duke outages at all. There may be a different power provider up there. We have relatively low power outage numbers. We've had this Durham outage, I feel like, for a little while now. Mike says, nothing happened over Mooresville. I live on the south side. So, at least on Mike's neighborhood. That's good. Yeah, Raging Country, if you can tell us where you're hearing those down tree calls. I don't know if you've got ears on a fire department radio or something. That would be interesting to know. So the storm that has prompted the severe thunderstorm warning coming out of Charlotte is now like Salisbury, Granite Hills, Faith, Rockwell, Albemarle. I don't even think you're going to reach severe criteria. But definitely a lot of rain and a lot of lightning right now in central portions of North Carolina. But again, while there's special weather statements out for some of these lines, we are now in the process of canceling the severe thunderstorm warnings. Mostly because the storm is weakened, but also like this is the area of the storm and it's about to run. The polygon ends here. So I think in a minute that's going to drop off. Okay, I now... Raging Country, are you also in NWS chat with me? Okay, I did just get a notice in the last minute into National Weather Service chat that there is a large tree blocking the roadway at Langtree Road and Doodle Lane. There's Langtree Road, that would be the Mooresville area. I don't know where Doodle Lane is. I'm gonna look. So maybe Raging Country was onto something. Doodle Lane. As soon as I find it on Google Maps, I will show it to you. Doodle in Mooresville. I'm not getting a doodle in Mooresville. I do obviously know where Langtree is. But... Oh, okay. Well, in that case, Raging Country, thank you for your Service and contributions. I got you. So, okay, so it seems that you guys are populating them still there in Iredale. So we may be getting, folks on the stream, we may be getting a couple more tree reports in that Langtree area, North Iredale. Roger says, got windy out here in Mooresville by the drag strip. A lot of rain, but no tornado. Somebody's asking, is there any rotation near Greensboro? I will look, but I don't think so. The fact that I have to switch to Roanoke, Virginia. Not really. There is this guy right here, but it's not really even rotation. Like that is so large and like macro scaled. It's not a tornado. It might be windy for sure. But no, there's no tornadic rotation. All right. So if we turn off special weather statements, I thought we were canceling these warnings. Expires in a minute. Expires in a minute. All right, whatever. But yes, folks on the stream, it seems like, as Raging Country has told us, it seems like we might have some tree reports in Mooresville. So here's what typically happens in this case. If the Weather Service decided that there was a high enough chance that a tornado could have occurred, on the next day after they get through today's severe weather event, they might drive to there and essentially do like a storm investigation. They would look at tree damage. They would look to see which way the trees fell, whether they were all in the same direction, whether they were crisscrossed. The Weather Service did it most recently in Unionville, in Union County, North Carolina, and we actually went out there and looked at some of the damage too. And you can see it on our YouTube channel. And so they would go out there to try to determine the strength of the tornado. We had a question earlier about EF scale, and those are things that are determined if the Weather Service comes back out to investigate. Could they go into Mooresville tomorrow or on Monday? Maybe. They issued a tornado warning. You know, I'm sure they're rooting for no tornado, just like a firefighter roots for no fires. But they also do look for evidence that supports the warnings they issue. If it's there. And so if there's a possibility that there's evidence to be found, they might decide to go look at it. I can't say that they will. I can't say that they won't. We'll see. All right, so all of the warnings have been allowed to expire. We're still watching for a low-end severe weather threat during the overnight hours. Chances are pretty good if you live from Interstate 73, 74, that new central interstate, off to the east. If you live in South Carolina, essentially from I-20 south, you're going to get a rumble of thunder here at some point between now and daybreak. We will watch on Sunday for the possibility of a few afternoon showers and thunderstorms that could develop, especially over the I-95 corridor. Those could then be another round of strong to severe storms. It's 1:45 now in the morning on this Sunday, May the 4th. I'm James Brierton in Charlotte. In just a few moments, we're going to pass you back over to the Carolina Weather Net. Last time we did this, we stayed on the net for literally 2 minutes before a tornado warning came up. But I'm hoping that we can keep it there for a little while, and I'm going to go try to get some shut-eye, and I hope you all do too. But again, we do want you to have multiple ways to get weather warnings. We could be one of them. Our Carolina Weather Net will read out weather warnings during the overnight period. This is a new feature we have in testing, and it is in testing. And so I do encourage you to have multiple ways to receive warnings so that if one fails, you have a backup. And so we won't be playing any of our usual jazz music during the overnight hours because I'm hoping you're going to close your eyes. And if all goes according to plan, the bot will read out special weather statements and any warnings that the National Weather Service issues. So we're going to take you over there now. Appreciate you guys being with me for the last 4 hours on the special Saturday night live streaming edition of Tracking Storms here on the Carolina Weather Group. We'll see you back here when the weather might warrant. And of course, every Wednesday night at 9 o'clock Eastern for our weekly weather podcast. I hope you guys like and subscribe wherever you're watching or listening right now so we can hang out again real soon. Thanks everybody for being with me tonight, and stay safe and see you soon.